being a sports photographer can be hard. You've got 1,000 people before and after the game DMing you. You get to the game, you take your photos, and you open Lightroom to have 1,000 photos to go through and edit. And it can be daunting at first. I remember going through my first few games, I didn't really know what to do. So today I'm going to be taking you through how I edit photos and give you some tips and tricks. So let's get into it. All right, so starting off, we're going to have an interception in the end zone against Arkansas. I've got the photo right here, and as you can see, it's a little tilted on the horizontal axis. It's actually not in focus. If you see over here, he's out of focus. So I actually messed up on this, but thankfully I was wide enough to where you can't really tell, but this is not the best photo. I can do better than this. So what you're always going to do is make sure your photo is level. Make sure the horizon line, which is right here between where the field and the stand usually meets up, that's your horizon line. And you're just going to use your crop in tool to just level that out. And you should have something that looks like this. And now that's much more level, I'm just going to make sure the players are cropped in a little bit more to where there's more action in it. And you see if I crop in like this, it's just, I like it, but it's not really center, and you can start to see it's out of focus. So what I did is I went a little wider here and just got a little bit more in it. And my main advice would be find a preset that you really like and stick with it for the entire game. Consistency is going to be your most important factor when you're starting out. You want everything to look uniform. Color pop here, which this is my personal preset. I love it. I'm going to drag the slider down just a little bit. And I'm going to bring the exposure up a little bit, bring my shadows back. And yeah, I really like that. That's a good photo. I wish it was in focus, but that was just something I sort of need to work on and do better next time. For our next photo, we have the Arkansas quarterback running, and how I like to crop is I get exactly what I need in the photo and how much can I cut out. So all this, I guess you can say excess fat here, just trim it. Imagine you're cutting a steak down and you just want the good parts. So here, just keep cropping, and you don't want to cut anything off. And finally, that's around the image you get. But the issue is you still have a little bit on the left and right. So what you can do is crop 4x5, and this gets it a little tighter. If that's your personal preference, if you want to stick to horizontal, that's completely fine. You can leave a little bit off. But if you're trying to make it look as good as possible, crop off everything excess. And there we go. I like that a lot. So really when you're cropping, you want to make sure A, it's level, and then B, you're cutting off any of that excess fat, because that just shows you don't really know how to crop anything. Next is something a little more creative. So this is called a shutter drag or a motion drag, whatever you want to call it. So if you can see my settings right here, I'm 1/15 of a second, f/29, ISO 100. The reason my f-stop is so high, or aperture, whatever you like to call it, is because it was daylight, super bright. So when you're setting your shutter speed that low, you're going to have issues of it just being too bright, even at 100. And if you don't have a ND filter on, which I cannot use because my lens is too big, they do not make an ND filter in that size without it being really expensive. So that's why my aperture is cranked to f/29. Go in here, find a preset I really like. And I got lucky, as you can see, there's the sun glistening right here off his helmet. I thought that was a really unique touch. So I wanted to really play into like the sun seeping in the same. So as you can see, it's pretty blue right now. But if I just drag my white balance, it's not like, it gets it a little more yellow, but I want the image to feel warm. So what I'm going to do is come down here to my color grading, and you see all these sliders for highlights. We can make them a little more yellow, but that doesn't work. I don't like that. So what I'm going to do is go to my midtones right here and drag that a little more orange. That's going to make it. And then my shadows, that makes all the darker parts of the image a little more yellow. And just like that, you've made it a little more yellow without affecting the white balance too much, but you can also tweak the white balance here if you want. So that way you still make it feel warmer, but at the same time, you're keeping your white balance without going too yellow. Getting shutter drags right or hard, it just takes practice. Just keep trying it. Just literally hold your camera like this and just rotate your body. It's that simple, and eventually you'll get one in frame that has the subject in focus. I mean, it's not completely in focus, but it's enough to where you can tell what's going on. This was a really cool detail shot I got. This is with Kyron Lacey after a touchdown, and I saw him walking past the Jumbotron, and I just quickly zoomed in. I'm at 600 right here, and I'm basically, this unique background is the Jumbotron, and you wouldn't find any color or bokeh like this. I like the scan lines, which is just, I guess, the LEDs in the Jumbotron. So we're going to go through here, find us something we really like. I like my color pop here. So what I'm going to do is make the image a little brighter. And as you can see, it didn't even focus on the face mask. It actually got past the face mask and went into the eyes. So I think this is just such a cool, unique shot. And my one thing is, don't forget to keep shooting after the play is over. This was maybe 15 seconds after the touchdown, after the celebration. Keep shooting, because you never know what you're going to get. That could be like, that's a really cool image. So just don't look down at your camera. Don't be on your phone after a big play. Keep shooting, and you'll get some unique stuff you didn't think you'd get in the first place. All right, finally, we've got a picture of Lane Kiffin right here. This was when a basketball rolled onto the field, and he did a little hoop motion, and the ref actually threw it into his arms. So I was disappointed. I was just about to take the photo before the basketball went in, but I got the one after. It's still a good photo, but it actually focused on, I think this is Womack, I'm pretty sure. It focused on Womack. So what I'm going to do is just crop in as much as I can, and remember what I said about trimming off the excess. Try and get as much in frame here and get his hand in there. Perfect. So you've got a good amount of it, and since they're so far away, focus kind of isn't as big of a deal as it should be. It's still a big deal to make sure obviously your subjects are in focus, but here you kind of can't tell. So we're just going to go find one of our filters. I'm going to drag it down because I don't like to over process my images too much. I like to keep them feeling more natural now. A year ago, I would have been a different, but that's what growth is in photography, figuring out what you like and what you don't like and improving through it. So I like this a lot. It's a little yellow for my taste. Bring that slider down. And since it isn't the sharpest, I'm going to go down to my sharpening tool here and drag it to get it just a little bit sharper. But if you didn't know, this masking tool right here in sharpening, you're probably like, what is it doing? This is actually really cool. If you hold down, I think it's your function or your, nope. If you hold down Alt, that's what it was, and you drag the slider, you can see what parts of the image it's actually sharpening. So as you can see, it's like going on its visor right here where it's going. It's just, it picks, and so when you actually do drag the sharpening tool, you can see where it sharpens due to the mask. And that's our final image. So I'm going to be doing a lot more vlogging now that I'm back in school. I'm going to be doing photo breakdowns every weekend for Ole Miss football. So if you have any comments or what you want to see in the next video, please let me know. I have my national championship vlog from a couple months back if you want to see me cover that. And yeah, stay tuned for next time.